So this is what your 2-page layout would look like at the end of the video. And I think you just want to take a look at how amazing this looks. There is so much dimension, a little bit of glitter here and there, and it's really gonna be a fun project for you to finish, and I think that's amazing. So in your kit, which we have mailed to you, it kind of looks like this. We've got your instructions. It's all in a fun little bag. So let me just move my sample out of the way. And you're gonna do a lot of fun different things. I think that's so cool that we're able to still give you this class-like experience, and you get to see it up close instead of squinting from the back of the classroom. So I have my instructions right here. I've got this cute little packet. You'll be seeing about these things in a little bit. Here's a thank you card for supporting us. So I'm gonna put that aside. I've got some flowers, some more flowers. Just making sure that everything's in your kit. It's that cute little, where are we? That cute little treasured memories title. I've got, oh, one of our cute little buttons that we give out when we're teaching. I got Creative Creations. That's super cute. All right, and our layered embellishments and our 49 & Market ethereal collection. Now, 49 & Market, if you haven't learned or heard about, is an amazing company. So that is who made our collection, our layered embellishments, and our flowers. So that's so nice. And our paper, you'll see, is very thick paper that will take all the things that we're gonna layer on and glue on, and it will still stay that tough paper that we need. And that's super cool. So we're gonna first need to open up this guy right here. So let me open up our paper. So we are looking for the Daydream paper. Let's see, and the names are at the bottom. So there's a View from Above, Whisper, Daydream, there it is. That is such a pretty, there's a cute little bicycle, some fun little flowers here. So that is super nice. So we're gonna cut off the barcode strip from this one and from A View from Above, which is this one. And the barcode strip is that little title strip at the bottom. So we're just cutting that off with our trimmer. And I like to use the Fiskars Sure-Cut trimmer just because it has this little string in the middle that lets you see exactly where the blade's gonna go, just for extra accuracy. So we do sell those if you're looking for an awesome trimmer. Now, a lot of times on her papers, like you'll see here, I flipped this barcode strip over and there's a design on the back. So that can become some border piece that you use on a later on something. So you don't always need to throw these out because they've got cute little designs that can be tied in. So that's a cute little tip there. And I'll cut off the other one. So now we're on step 2. With the trimmer, you're going to cut 2 photo mats from the inside of the layered embellishments cover sheet. So what this is your layered your layered embellishment sheet is this. So these are embellishments that already have the pop dots behind them, and that's such a cool thing that you'll see that they are plastic pieces and you'll be able to pick them up and put them where they go. So you'll see about that, but these are amazing. Our layered embellishments here, you'll see it says ethereal at the top. That matches the paper collection that we just opened. That's how you know that these pieces are going to match and work flawlessly with the paper. So I'm going to open this up. And this is kind of like a tricky trick, I think, using this as like a bonus sheet of paper, which is what we're going to do with our photo mats. So I open this up and all the pieces are actually on this thin little piece here. So we'll move that aside. And then we've got this whole blank page that can be used. And it's already printed like it's an actual paper. So I think that's awesome. So here we're gonna cut 2 photo mats from this one that measure 5.5 by 4.5. So and I'm not gonna worry about the flat piece. I'll just start at the bottom. And these are our photo mats to match to make a border around our photos, so it doesn't really matter where you start because it's pretty much going to be this blush pink color unless you're looking for more of these green speckles, but that's not totally important right now. So I'm going to go 5.5 by 4.5, so I'll put this in 5.5. All right, and then 4.5. And because we're using that backer, this is going to be a really sturdy photo mat that you'll see. And you're going to put pop dots, so you won't even see that that was there underneath. So it's a little trick there again. So with these, we are going to pop dot these onto layout 2, letting the corners overlap. So layout 2 is going to be the paper with our key right here. And to make it look like this right here, do you see how they're just overlapping a little bit, and it's kind of in the middle of the paper in general, and we're using our pop dots. So we're gonna do them just like that onto ours. And yours are not sparkly yet like this with the pink, because we're gonna put these down first before we make it awesome. So let me put my pop dots on the back of these 2 pieces. And for some reason I just happened to grab the tiniest pop dots I ever owned. And I'll put these on here. Now I'm only gonna try to put pop dots near, I got my corners, but also near the middle, because I'm gonna try to tuck stuff behind this photo mat. And if you want it to be easy and breezy, I'm just putting pop dots down the middle here. So let me uncover these. It'll make sense later when we start putting stuff in. So first we're gonna put down this one, and I don't want to cover up my lantern here, so just right there. There's not too much specific information on that one, so just a little bit from the lantern and a little bit from the top, and then we got these one. It's not really an exact science with the photo mats, but it's all the other decorations. And the one thing about photo mats is, though, when we do our projects, is it usually determines the rest of your, where the rest of your project is gonna go. And I know that sounds scary, but that just means everyone's is gonna look different. So if you're doing this with another friend, you'll still get 2 beautiful layouts that will just a little bit look different. All right, and that's pretty good. I didn't want to overlap it too much, but there's still room, and because these are easy small pop dots, when I put my picture in, then I can just lightly lift this to make sure it tucks underneath enough. So put those, I missed one. Put that down. All right, we are going to cut a photo mat measuring 6.5 by 4.5, and this goes on layout 1. So we're gonna cut from this, so my leftover area right here, 6.5 by 4.5. I can do that. 6.5 by 4.5. And I perfectly got it, so I didn't have to end up with part of this crease ending on my photo mat. So my piece is right here. So that was just what I was trying to avoid. And somehow one of my little guys got on there. He belongs over there. All right. We're gonna put pop dots on the back of our piece. Now I see that my piece, both sides are printed without that directions or marketing material, so you could use either side, but I'm just gonna stick with this green side, so I'm gonna put the pop dots on this side. And again, I'm just going for the corners and then down the middle. Super easy, kind of quick about it. Peel these off. All right, and then I'm grabbing my layout 1 which is our bicycle piece. So I'm just gonna make sure it's straight, and I'll put it right here in the middle of my layout. Nice. So for our next step, we are actually going to use the back of our front ethereal cover sheet. And I've already cut mine, so I'm going to have to show you. This is the postcard sheet. So there's all these cute little postcards, and you'll probably get the hint that we want the one that's right here. And it's going to go right here in the corner of our first page. And I like to, you can tell what it is. Right here, it's tan, and it actually says Ralph, April 1910. So that's how you know you have the right one. So when you cut that out with your trimmer, you might want to pause to do that. And you're going to use your adhesive to lift. You can use your fingers to lift this corner, and use your adhesive to tuck that and put it down flat, and just put that corner back where it goes. Next, we are going to use the same paper, the postcard paper, and remove the medium pink clock. So there was a pink clock right here. You're going to use your detail scissors. I use my Tim Holtz detail scissors. That's super handy. And you'll notice that at first I cut apart the postcards from these smaller pieces just to make it easier to come in from the top and cut out that piece. Once you have that piece, you're going to glue it flat on your second layout directly on top of the white lantern that's printed there. You do want to make sure your 12 is the correct way. You don't need to worry about gluing that lantern, covering up that lantern, because we will have another piece of the lantern that will get to have that piece back. So no need to fret about that. That's the first thing I thought about, was that beautiful lantern printed on the page. And what's wonderful about these 49 Market products is there's such beautiful background pages that you almost dare not to put too much on the backgrounds so you're not covering up. So I like that this page didn't have too much going on, that we have lots of room to work with our embellishments. So that is a super nice bonus. Next, we are going to get our layered embellishments, and I don't remember exactly which way it was. We're just gonna have it go this way. I would like the piece that has 3 connected gears. So there's a green, a rust, and then another green. And you wanna carefully pick it up, and you'll start to feel the pop dots behind them. So if you accidentally lose a pop dot, or you need an extra pop dot in a place, that's just where you can add one. And they're layered, so there's some on top of others just to give them better dimension. All right, and we are going to put that piece at the top left corner, whoop, wrong page, of our layout 1. All right, and it's already got its pop dots, so I can just let it wiggle in just a little bit, and I kept a little vertical situation going and just making sure it's down good. So right there, you've already got a nice embellishment, so that's super nice. Next, from the postcard paper again, at the bottom, I'm gonna get this large pink clock. So I've already separated this, so I don't need that right now. But I'm gonna get this large pink clock down here with my detail scissors. I know you can't always cut a perfect circle, which is totally fine, because by the time stuff gets layered on top of each other or tucked underneath something, you won't even notice. So you don't have to worry about that perfect circle. So what we're gonna do with this piece, which I think is kind of cool, is we're gonna go back to our 3 gears here. All right, and we're gonna take our large pink clock and we're going to pop dot it onto that large brown gear in the middle, and you might have seen that right here. So you see how it's been between it, but you have to keep in mind that it's also underneath these green gears. So we're gonna pop dot it onto the brown gear, so that's also tucked underneath the green gears. And you're also gonna make sure your clock is facing the correct way. All right, and make sure my 12 is facing the correct way. Oh, there it goes. All right, and we're going to tuck it. And it's kind of going to fight you because you did put pop dots on it. All right, that's super cool. So that's a little trick. So we've got a majority of the background pieces down to add the shimmer. So in your kit, you received this little packet of goodies. I'm going to open this and I'll explain the pieces. All right, first we're gonna set these to a side. We are gonna use this spray right here. So this is Nuvo Sparkle Spray, the Blush Burst color. So that is in your kit. So that's fun. And you're gonna remove the lid. The sparkle spray is like shimmer in a little container. You get a very pretty spray, and they're very vibrant colors. So we've got lots of other pretty colors, and I liked that this color blended in the blush burst with our background. So from a distance, because I do it too close, sometimes I get a ring or just a glob. So from a distance, I'm going to spray both of my backgrounds until I get the look I desire. So just be generous with your spray and just be careful because it does tend to get over a large area around you. So from a distance, I'm just going to start spraying, and I might even want to take my instructions and put it underneath back here so I don't get it on something. All right, that's pretty good. So I did about 5 sprays on this one, and the farther back you go, the more spread out your spray is going to be. So I really like that one, and it's wet, so I don't want to move anything or try to touch anything because it will smudge and you'll notice the smudge. So that is that layout. All right, and I'll put my piece of paper. All right, and I'll spray from a distance. I know this sometimes can be kind of scary to do because it's like your one shot, but I find it quite exciting. Like you want to find more stuff to spray. So again, this is really wet that we want to set it aside to dry. But you'll see it makes a big difference on your layout compared to other projects without the spray. So you'll find yourself adding this to lots of other projects. And we even, similar to the sparkle spray, we even have a mica mist, which is a bigger bottle with less shimmer in it. So it's more for a light background spray. This is more for a very vibrant background spray. So that's the difference between the mica mist and the sparkle spray. While that still dries, it just takes a minute, but I also want to explain you've got your Nuvo glitter drops. So when we get to our flowers later, you'll see that we will brush on some glitter drops onto our flowers. If you want the glitter on your flowers, or if you want to accent them something else, you got a whole bottle for that. So that's such a cool bonus. So let me see how this is looking, because it does spray, it does dry fairly fast. Some of the glitter does come up on your finger. That's fine because it's just loose, but it should be mostly dry around the edge of your paper. And it will come on your finger, like I said, but that's totally fine because there's still shimmer there. But on your plastic pieces, like your photo mat here and your gears, it's going to take longer to dry because they are plastic pieces. So just keep that in mind as we are working and adding stuff. If we go to add some more things and your pieces are not sticking, you're going to want to maybe use a heat gun to dry it down a little bit more, and then try sticking it again. So that's just a little tip. So let me clean up my area. Now that I cleaned up my area, I'm going to pull out my layered embellishments again, and I'm going to get this piece that has a large green and a small brown gear. I guess a medium-sized gear. I'll just pick it up. I'm going to use my detail scissors to cut and separate these two pieces so I have one green gear and one brown gear. So instead of cutting on this top layer, because that's no good, it's already loose by itself, I cut on the second layer, and I'm just going to go inside so it's underneath the green gear. All right, so you kind of don't see my cut there. You do see it over here, but it's gonna tuck, so that's okay. I'll set that piece aside. And I've got my green piece, and I do still spot a little bit of brown here on the corner. Let me just snip that. All right, and so I'm going to go to my layout 2 right here. And we're gonna place this piece at the top right corner of this bottom photo mat. So just right here in the corner, I'm gonna push it down to make sure it's good. If it comes up very loosely, that means your spray is not dry, but mine's good because it is not going anywhere. All right, I'm going to take my brown piece, my brown gear, and go to my first layout, and I'm going to tuck it where this bicycle wheel is. Just go straight in, enough to where you don't see any of that edge anymore, and place. So in your collection, you've got a cute cutout sheet where the pieces are already die cut for you. Right here. And I love this. It's not double-sided. The back is pink because you just want this side. But we're gonna get a lot of pieces from here. They're all loosely cut, so they're just little snippets on each part. You have to cut the piece away. You'll see. But these are super nice because you don't have to do much die cutting. We're going to remove the center U-shaped flower wreath, okay? And to save you some time, we are gonna cut this in half. So maybe while it's still in its backer, I'm gonna lift up this bottom of it and cut it in half right there. All right, we're gonna use the left piece, and that's gonna get cut in half again. And I'll show you. So we do need this piece to come out anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull the rest of this left side piece out. And then from here, I'm gonna snip it at the half again. So I would say about half is right here. Oh, come on, right here. Actually right here before those double rosebuds. I'll just snip right there just to create 2 pieces. So now that we cut in half, I'm gonna use this top section, and I'm gonna adhere it coming out of the left side of my photo mat, just like that. And you can tuck it in as far as you want because some people don't want so much greenery. But I'm probably gonna leave it just like that. And it's gonna overlap that postcard a little bit. So I'm just gonna use my liquid glue here just to get glue on my major parts. Just a little bit because it's a tiny little sucker. And I'm going to tuck in and stick. Now, since I'm feeling fancy, I will get some of my super tiny pop dots and put these pop dots underneath the major flowers of this piece. So like behind here, except I already put glue there, so that wasn't very smart. Okay. And maybe another one underneath this one over here. Just to give it a little bit of rising dimension on this branch piece. That's kind of cool. All right. Now back to your cutout sheets. We're looking for the long arrangement of pink and yellow flowers at the top right. That would be this piece right here. So we're going to pull that piece out. All right, this one is going at the bottom left of our page. And you'll see, let me show you. You'll see right here where that piece is. Because there's already those yellow flowers at the bottom, it's just gonna overlap those flowers to make it look like there's more flowers here. and it makes them come off the page a little bit just by adding this piece. And it will overlap your postcard a little bit, and that's totally fine. So we're gonna pop dot this one. Whoop. All right, and I said we're gonna put it just right here at the bottom, and it's kind of flow up and overlap the postcard. So we're just sticking those down, and that looks pretty good. So your flowers that are printed here are kind of becoming more vivid and more eye-catching because of this one flower we put down. So that's super cool, I like that. All right, now we are looking back at our cutout sheets for the small branch with 4 circular leaves that's at the bottom. So that's going to be right here. So there's another one next to it, but this one is smaller, so this is the one we want. So pull that one out. All right, it's a little piece, be careful. So I'm gonna put glue on these top 2 leaves, and then I'm gonna put pop dots on the bottom 2 leaves. And you'll see why. So it's going to tuck in, and it's going to pop down on top of that piece, and then that gear right there. And it flows down, and it may even not even need glue because it's just flowing downward. That guy needs a little more glue. But we put a pop dot on these back two because so this one can stand out along with this other one that we pop dotted behind it, and so it can attach the gear nicely. So, and I'll just fix that guy. All right, moving on back to our cutout sheets. We're looking for the long arrangement of pink flowers at the top left. That would be this one right here. Let's pull that out. So we're just putting it in right here. So we did the pink flowers, and then we did the circular leaves, and then we're doing more pink flowers. So we just want that to kind of go on top and flow on top of it. So I'm actually going to just put glue at random spots where I know it's going to stick good, and just keep it from going anywhere. Right here. And it's okay that I have to get glue somewhere else because it is dry as clear glue. Let me make sure you can see, okay. And then one more up here. Nice, that's a fun little arrangement on the left. If you so choose, you could also pick, if it was too much of the pink, you could also pick that little smaller branch right there at the top. So again, from this cutout sheet, we also need the heart with the rope at the top. Now this is a fragile piece because we still want the rope to be attached to the heart, but if it comes apart, you can just make like, you can glue it down like it's still attached. So there's always a fix for things like these. So I'm just pulling out the heart with the rope. And this one's gonna be another little trick. Here's a little centerpiece, I don't need that. Okay, good, I kept it intact that time. I'm gonna put a pop dot behind this piece. I just put one because it's just a little heart. And we're actually going to cover up the existing heart that you see here on the paper. So I'm going to tuck it underneath and make sure it overlaps perfectly. See, that looks so cute. So we really let that heart with the rope stand out on this page. So back to here of the cutout sheet. You now need the medium branch with 4 circular leaves at the left side. That's going to be this branch right here. And I love how detailed I made these instructions for you guys because it makes it easy to follow along, and if you're confused, you're getting exactly what piece you need and exactly where it needs to go. So that's super awesome. All of our kits are like that. So we're going to put pop dots behind these pieces. And you don't have to worry about the little branch that's connecting the circular leaves. You just worry about the leaves. So I'm going to tuck it into that's coming out of that brown here and flowing up. That's kind of cute. All right, back to we're not done with our cutouts yet. We now want the single red flower at the bottom left. That's right here. Pull that out. So we're going to adhere it flat just to give that flower dimension when we put it down. Just like that. All right. Then we're gonna go back to our cutout sheet one more time, and we're gonna get the double red flower at the bottom left. Oh, that came out really easy. And we're gonna pop dot this piece. See, that just needed one. And we're going to make it so the greenery is gonna go down and it's gonna kind of snuggle and just like that. All right, so next we're going to get our layered embellishments. We're going to remove the large brown leaf stem at the bottom right here. So I know I see another larger one, but I'm going with this one right here. I just have to pull it up. Easy peasy. And I'm going to place it so it's coming out of the bottom of the photo mat. So that is going to go kind of diagonally. I'm going to tuck it right here. Y'all couldn't see, that was funny. I'm going to tuck it right here and let it flow downwards. So it's kind of an odd spot to explain, so just at face value, we tucked it a little bit from the corner and let it float a bit diagonally downwards. Then back to our layered embellishments. We are getting the large flower bundle in the middle, removing only the flower bundled, leaving the glitter behind. Because we already put glitter on our page with our sparkle spray, so we're just leaving that glitter accent behind and getting that large piece. And we're gonna place at the top right of the photo mat, letting it tuck in. So I'm actually gonna have these other petals face upward. And because it's layered, I'm gonna let the photo mat fit between the two pieces. So I snuggle it between, make sure it still fits on the page, and push down. So that looks pretty nice. So now we're gonna use our Wildflowers mushroom color. So that's this color right here. I'm gonna open it. And I love the variety in these flowers. I'm actually looking for the light brown double flowers on a stem. So I might just end up taking some of them out right here just to get to it in the back. Okay, so this light double flower on a stem, we're gonna place this so that it is straight up and down along this right edge of the photo mat, but also a little slanted so the stem can tuck underneath. All right, so I'm gonna tuck this in, and you see how those are? They're kind of layering over that layered embellishment up there. And just to keep it safe down here, you can use glue or a pop dot. And because they are flowers that need to stay in place, I'm gonna use a pop dot. So I'll just put one, because it doesn't really need much to stay put. So I'll put one underneath that top one, and stick it to that layered embellishment. So you see it's kind of slanted but still tucked in. Again, from these wildflower mushrooms, I want the darker 2 flowers on a stem. We're gonna stick that straight into the side. And this is why we put pop dots, only try to do along the middle of the back of our photo mat, so that we were able to stick these things in without too much hassle. So I let this left flower cover up that stem area right there of that first flower. So that's a little trick right there. And I'll use a pop dot on this right flower so it keeps that whole stem in place. All right. Okay, select one of the large dark brown flower assortments. There are 2 of them in your packet. They're both exactly the same, so I'm just gonna pick one. And we're going to adhere at the bottom left of the photo mat. So if you see on our sample, we're gonna end up with the mushroom on the left and the scarlet on the right. So they're just gonna go right next to each other, sort of. Now, I like to first pop dot this down. It does say adhere, but because I'm also lazy, I'm gonna pop dot these down. It keeps it from moving. You don't have to worry about glue kind of getting all over this flower, because what we're gonna do next, okay, I like that spring thing to face diagonally left. And right here at the corner, we'll go a little bit down. All right, perfect. Now, because this has been sitting in my package and just kind of hanging out for a while, I'm gonna manually fluff up these petals just slightly, just to bring them back to life a little bit. All right, then we're gonna grab from the Wildflower Scarlet collection, which is the same Wildflower collection, just a different color, and it's scarlet. We're gonna get the medium assortment of small, dark, and light pink double flowers. So that is going to be this guy. So I call this an assortment because it's got the light and the dark, just like here, but it's also put together with some leaves and little stamen there, so that's nice. We are going to insert into the right side of the photo mat in between the dark and brown flowers in brown gear adhere. All right, so basically all that was insert right here, and it's overlapping that brown a little bit and our gear. That's totally good. And we're gonna make sure it stays in place by putting a pop dot underneath this top section, making sure it stays and doesn't try to come back with me. And push it down. All right, so that sucker is not, well, we'll put another one. It should not be going anywhere. It doesn't take much, because remember those pop dots in the middle are catching the ends of these stems and holding them in place. So as long as you don't try to tip this one away or another. If you do want to make sure these are down, you probably can put some liquid adhesive along the stem before you put it in, and at the base here would be a good idea. All right, and then again from the scarlet flowers, we're gonna select one of the large flower assortment, so it's just like the mushroom color. I'm gonna put 2 pop dots behind here, just like we did before. Peel those off. And it's gonna go down here in this other corner. And I don't want to totally cover up my piece down here. Let's see. Just like that. That's nice. And because part of it's also sitting on this layered embellishment down here, it's gonna puff up more than the other one, but that's totally fine. And again, we're going to play with the petals a little bit to fluff them up. All right, and I see it's a little wiggly, so I'll put another pop dot over here. Nice. Okay, now here's a fun little thing from my layered embellishments. There's these little bubbles. They're just little circles that you'll find randomly here. We also have these separately called wishing bubbles. So if you're only looking for bubbles, we have wishing bubbles in all kinds of colors. But I'm just gonna pick, it says 5 small dark brown circles or wishing bubbles, and randomly place them around my layout where it needs a little bit more stuff. So like over here by my heart, I'll select another small one next to my gear. Another small one, put down here in that empty space. That's 3. Here's a 4th one down here, and a 5th one. I'll pick up a little bigger one, and just go for right here. So that's super cool. And then I am going to get some of my my U-circle branch that we cut out, and this was the other half that we cut. I'm going to insert this into the right and adhere it, and then put some pop dots maybe under this larger flower up here just to keep it elevated. But that's what we're gonna do with that piece, because that was probably sitting around your desk. Okay, and we're going to insert right here and just kind of let it flow right like that. That's nice. All right, and then now we're going to use the white blizzard that was included. And I'm going to add glitter to my petals of my flowers. Okay, and you can always add more glitter to your flowers over here, but I'm just going to do the major flowers and the double flowers on the right. And you can use a paintbrush. I'm just going to use my finger here, so I will put some on the flower petals, and then I will spread it out. Add some more. So this is kind of a fun, easy way to spruce these up. It's actually taken a lot more than I'm thinking, so spread it out. And the nice thing about this glitter drop is the glitter is going to dry with kind of a texture that you can feel the glitter after it's dry. So that's super cool that you can see and feel your glitter accent. So that's just another little something. So I'm getting a lot on these petals because it seems like my finger wants to soak up the glitter. Let's see. Go around. Oh, that one was good. And you probably don't notice it as much on my camera, but you will on your layout. And you're gonna find yourself tempted to add more in more places. So that's super fun. So go around here. You don't have to overdo these tiny ones because then they'll get a little too drenched in the glitter. So I bet you're really liking this glitter right about now. And I know the people that don't like the glitter on their petals, they're like, nope, skipping that. But you might really like it. It's really easy to do. And again, you can even use a little paintbrush if you don't want to get it on your finger, because I know we already got our spray everywhere earlier. Nice. And I'll just do a little bit more back here. Nice. Okay, kind of skipped that one. All right, so you can even keep going with this all over the place if you wanted. But you've got a whole bottle here, and I probably only used up 1/8 of it. So that's pretty awesome. And that makes this layout done. And we're gonna finish up the second page. So you finish up that, and I'm gonna move my papers around. So if you didn't know, while you're finishing up your glitter, that Creative Kreations, we are a small family-owned company. So if you ever see us at the shows, maybe next year, it will be me and my mom and my sister at the show. So it's super fun and something we love to do, and we get to, you know, do the job that you love. and enjoy. So you get to craft and you get paid to craft. So it's fun. And so we'll finally get to teach you a class in person. So that's a double bonus. So now we're moving on to finishing our layout too. So we're gonna have that in front of you. Remember, we put the clock and the gear and we sprayed. So that's all we did so far on this one. We're going to get our cutout sheet and we're gonna get the single large branch with the pink flower. So let's pull that piece out. All right, so we're going to here at the top right of the layout, directly on top of these printed flowers, and then we're going to pop dot the single pink flower on here. So let us get our pop dot to put our single pop dot. Oh, you know what? Mine is too big. I'm going to cut this just in half. There you go. And place it up at the top here. Oh, Kaitlynn. All right. And then glue is going to go on the rest. And that's a very tiny stem. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to have it flow from that top right corner. And if you don't like this, you can totally use a different branch piece from the leftover branch pieces. Okay, so here's our branch pieces that are printed, and it's going to start right at the middle and flow outwards, just like that. All right, so we're gonna fix that in a minute, so don't worry. Back to your cutout sheets, you're gonna get the 2 single yellow flowers on the right. So that's this one right here and that one right there. We're gonna pull those out. We're gonna put pop dots behind these, so just 1 per each because they are tiny. All right, and we are going to overlap the printed flowers down here in the corner. So this one I'm gonna have go straight up. So there's some printed, what we can't even see. Oh, that was a good one. So down here, there's some printed flowers. I'm gonna have this one go straight up over the one that's printed there. All right, and the other one, there's not really a flower over here. There's just a giant one, but we're gonna have it overlap. It's still going to the left a bit. Oh, I guess I can show you a little closer. All right, next step, we're going back to our laser cut sheets. We're gonna get the key that is on the left side over here. So we had a key here that's printed on our layout, and then we sprayed and it kind of got left in the dust there. Mine's a bit quite covered up. So I'm going to adhere this directly over it. Now it is a little bit bigger, but we're gonna center it the best we can and it will look perfect. So this is very thin, so I'm gonna be careful about putting glue. I'm gonna say I'm gonna be careful, but then I'm not. All right, and I'm gonna put it right on top of the key printed. Then it makes it stand out from all the glitter, so that's super cool. All right, back to our laser cutouts. We now, like I said, we'll need the lantern in the middle here. And it's gonna pop dot directly on top of where the lantern was before. So let's pull it out of here. And we're gonna pop dot it. And because it's got thin sides, I'm gonna put a pop dot here at the top and half a pop dot here at the bottom corner. Peel those off. And you'll recall we covered up that lantern with that pink clock and then we sprayed. So to make this lantern stand out, it's going to go right on top of the clock and be exactly on top of where the printed one was, and stick. All right, so you don't really need much for that one. If you want to put another half of a pop dot in this other corner to keep it supported, I'd totally do that. All right, so let's see what else. Now we need the smaller open butterfly in the middle. So that is, so right here at the bottom of the lantern, there's a small butterfly that has its wings more open. So we want that one. All right, and we're gonna pop dot at the top of the lantern. So we'll stick one of my pop dots on him, peel the packer, and we're gonna make it look like that he is resting on our lantern up here, just like that. And I can show you that a little bit closer. And then again from our laser cutouts, we got a lot of laser cutouts here. We want the single red flower at the bottom right, so that will be this one right here. All right. And we're gonna pop dot at the left side of the photo mat, tucking it in. So here's my pop dot. So where the lantern is, we're gonna go into the odd side of our flower, goes into behind the photo mat and place. That was easy. All right, for the layered embellishments, we need the layered pink flower on the left side. So right here, here's a pink flower that's layered, has a smaller pink flower on top of it. We're gonna pull that one up. And we're gonna do a little trick because we put that single flower stem to come from those printed flowers, and you could see the end of your stem up here. There's a flowers printed on the paper there in a bushel. We're gonna put our bushel right over the existing one, and it's gonna cover up the end of that flower stem in that bushel. So that's super cute. All right, back to our layered embellishments now that we've figured out what direction it goes. We need the double gear set at the bottom. That's right here. We're gonna pick that up. We're gonna place coming out of the right side of top photo mat. So this brown one is layered. So you know we like to put the photo mat between the two layered pieces. It's gonna go on the right side of this upper photo mat, and it likes to stick while you're moving. And it's just gonna stay vertical and push. All right, and remember, if your pop dots do come off of your layered embellishments, you just put your own new pop dots straight on there. So that's super cool. And if you don't like the layered look, you just peel it off, and the same exact printed image is right below it on the next plastic piece. All right, so again, from the layered embellishments, we want the small leaf stem at the top. Here's two leaf stems right here next to each other. I want this very right side one. All right, I'm pretty sure you've turned this thing a couple times, so I might have got confused which way was up when I was writing these directions. All right, we're gonna place this so it's coming out of this green gear, just like that. That was super easy. We're going to get another single leaf, and it's gonna come out of the right side of the bottom photo mat. Okay, so we want this other leaf this time. This one is going to come down here at the bottom, behind, and kind of face diagonal and stick. All right. Then I want to get a single leaf right there. I know both of those are kind of the same, so it doesn't really matter. A single leaf, and it's going to come from our gear right here and stick. So now our gear's a flower. Not sure where that came from, but it works. All right, you want the long brown circular leaf stem at the right side. So here is a long circular leaf stem. Let's pick that long piece up. It's going to tuck right in this little corner between the single leaf and the photo mat. It's gonna flow down. And remember I showed you about when it's layered, we want the photo mat to go between the layered pieces. So I have a layered piece here in the middle. So the back of my stem went inside between the single leaf and the photo mat. Then my layered piece snuggles between, and the rest of it flows downward. And then here towards the end, I think I'm going to pick up this bottom leaf so that my brown leaf tucks behind it. So it was laying on top, so I just made it go behind it right there. I might have to adjust a little bit and stick. So that's how we got that long piece in there, and it really takes care of that right side, but without being too busy. So that's kind of nice. There's this little off brown leaf stem right here towards the middle-ish area. I'm gonna pick that piece up. Oh, mine was broken. That's cool. I must have accidentally cut it. And we're gonna place it like it wasn't broken, but it's gonna go up here in the top corner, coming out of this top photo mat, just like that. So see how quickly I fixed my piece. So that's what's nice about these, is I was able to make it look like it was together. So I guess I accidentally snipped it at some point. All right, then I need the, let's see what we got here. Okay, so I need the long brown circular leaf stem at the top right with the glittered leaves, but remove only the leaf stem, leaving the glittered leaves behind. Oh, we've done that before. So I'm leaving the glitter piece behind and just picking up the circular leaf stem. This is going to, remember about the layered pieces, it's going to tuck right here, and it's gonna flow right and up a little bit. So it tucked here, was flowing towards the right, but then I notched it up just a little bit. So for our wildflower mushrooms, which is the brown color, okay, so we've got our other large assortment. So I'm gonna put pop dots behind that piece. All right, and I'm gonna put it to where these two photo mats meet in this upper area, but I don't wanna cover up my gear here too much. If you do end up covering that gear up too much, you could, remember, because it's layered embellishments with the pop dots, you can pick that up and scooch it up just a little bit so it's out of the way. And it looks like mine is doing that, so I will, yeah, I probably will scooch it up just a little bit, just like that. And I foresaw that happening. And then it goes right here in the corner, and that large spring thing that hangs out is facing towards the top right corner. You don't want that large spring thing facing on your photo mat. That's why we have it going anywhere else but there. We're gonna bring our flowers to life a little bit. I mean our petals. That looks good. All right, you're gonna get the medium assortment of light brown and dark brown flowers. So that's gonna be this little fun assortment. That's super cute. So we've just placed in this corner. So now we're gonna insert in the opposite corner, and it's gonna go straight in. And we don't want our flowers to go underneath our photo mat. So we're gonna go as far as we can without them freaking out and adhere. So I'm gonna use pop dots, little magic trick, instead of getting glue everywhere, to get this to stay put right there. And we'll put another one up here, I think. Peel it. Nice. So these are spiky stems. We have 3, they're all the same. So I'm just gonna choose one for no random reason. So here is our flower assortment, and it's gonna insert next to it on the left side. Insert, and actually, mine is not really moving. I'm gonna give it a pop dot underneath the big bushel part. We can pull that out. You're probably like, can she make up her mind about what she wants? But right here, and stick. Nice, it's not going anywhere, that piece. All right, then we want another spiky stem. So we're just selecting a spiky stem. And I like to spike it up a little bit by spreading out its things just a little bit. I'm gonna put my pop dot before I stick it in back here so it can hide. Peel that off. Okay. And that's gonna go below our red flower on the left here. And I kinda wanna go in a bit diagonally. Oh. All right, so my stem is a bit long to get all the way through there. So I'm gonna trim it about, I moved it out of the camera, that was good, about half, and then retry. Okay, that's good. So it goes right there, and we're gonna spike it up. There you go, that's nice. All right, from our scarlet flowers, we need the light pink double flowers on a stem. That is this piece. So that is going to go up here. And you go as far, nope, I gotta trim it. Looks like right here. I go down right here, that's good. And I'll put a pop dot on that top petal. Or I mean behind the top petal, my bad. All right, that's nice. Now we need a dark pink double flowers on a stem. That is going to be this piece right here. I already can predict it's gonna be too long. So we're gonna cut that. And we're gonna stick down here just to hang out with this group, okay? And I'm gonna put a pop dot underneath that bottom petal if it would like to stay today. And it's not going anywhere. Select the remaining large dark pink flower assortment. That would be this big guy right here. And adhere at the bottom left corner of the top photo mat. So it is gonna go right here. So let's put our pop dots on. And again, you can use regular glue. We're just doing the lazy version. I'm all for the shortcut lazy version. So I'm really enjoying how these flowers look, especially since we picked them out to look nice next to each other, the colors. Okay, so this look goes right here at the corner and push. And again, that long swirly thing right there is facing outward. All right, from the layered embellishments, we're gonna select 5 circles, the bubbles like we spoke about. So we'll put one up here in the corner. Let's find another one. Oh, here's one. I got one over here next to it. Here's a small one. I'll put it up here between the lantern and that leaf. I'll put another one next to right here. And let's see, I know there's another one on here, I just can't see it. Oh yeah, they're over here hiding. And I'll put it down here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and my 5th one down here at the bottom. All right, we're gonna use our glitter drops again to add glitter to our flowers. I forgot to fluff up my petals over here. All right. And we learned the first time that it does take up a lot of glitter on these bigger ones. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that just to save time. And then spread with my finger. Already, I think spreading this already makes it look good. You can I even like to rub my finger across those little stamens in the middle just to give it a little something if there's anything on my finger. Let's see. Because those are glossy stamen in the middle, so it's not really gonna stick, but it will to the petals. And we'll get just a little bit of our mini flowers down here. We're so close. All right. Oh, nice. And even if you accidentally like keep swiping your finger too much and get some on your page, that's totally fine, because remember we sprayed glitter, so you're just adding to it. All right, so that looks good. I still got 3/4 of my bottle here, so that's so nice that you got that. And then our last step here is to attach our titles, which came in your kits. Now we did decide to leave this brown because it tied in the browns on the pages. But you can even ink your title or paint it with gesso to make it white, and then paint it with a different color. You know, whatever floats your boat. You can also use, oh my goodness, you can also use a Nuvo glitter marker. Then you have a shimmery title. I don't know if that's going to be too much shimmer on a page. So I'm just cutting the backer away from my title piece. Now these memories I'm noticing is individual letters. So that's going to take a little more time. But to explain and wrap up, if you notice on your picture on your instructions, because remember I said yours might end up different, I had 2 empty spaces down here in my corners, and that's where I would put treasured and then memories. And then somehow I ended up with not very much space on mine, so I could put my treasured maybe down here in this bottom corner, and then my memories along this bottom left corner as well on my other page. So depending on where you have the space is where you'll put your titles. So that's super awesome. And if you have any other questions about these amazing layouts or our other classes, you can see how it's pretty close to my example here. So that's super nice. This is where I was talking about. So your treasured can go down here. On this sample I could have, or on my other one, my treasured can go down here. And then my memories is really anywhere along the bottom. So if any questions about this layout, or if you're interested in our other classes, you can give us a call or message us on Facebook or through our website. Before I start, I do want to show you the samples for these cards you're making. Here is card 1. Card 2, card 3, and card 4. These are all very beautiful cards. Now I'm going to move on. This is what your kit will look like, more or less. The instructions are in the front, so you can identify which kit you're doing first if you bought both. So I'm going to pull out my instruction sheet and all of my contents. So the first thing in your kit is going to be your instruction packet, a very lovely picture on the front, and very detailed instructions for finishing these cards. But the video does help just to give you a better class at home experience. You also get this good bag. This bag has your Pink Christmas scrapbooking cards paper pad. These are smaller just so they could be used for the cards that you're making, and also so that you're not cutting corners from larger 12 by 12 pieces. You have pieces made for this. If that makes sense, you'll get it. But that's a wonderful collection from Stamperia, is the Pink Christmas, along with other scrapbooking cards collections that they have. Here are 4 pink backgrounds. These are regular pink cardstock. And I have 4 blank cards and envelopes, okay? Right here, I have 49 in Market Stargazers. This is the color Simply White. These are beautiful flowers, and they already have these really pretty beads on the flowers. So that's really going to help us. Here is a little packet. We can open that one. This has your 3 Ranger liquid pearls that we're using with this kit. So this is Lemon Chiffon, a very lovely yellow, Sage, and Rouge. So these liquid pearls are going to give anything that you put on them a pearly embellishment. So you'll see where that comes into play. I've got my little plastic container of my lace. That's what we're going to be using. And I have a bag of Ranger Distress glitter. So that's going to come in handy too on perfecting our cards. And if you're not a glitter person, it's already in this neat little bag and not all over your stuff. So no problem. Also, what you will need to finish these cards, what I recommend is a liquid glue called Art Glitter Dries Clear Glue. This is the best glue you're going to have. Even though the brand is called Art Glitter, it can be used for anything, and it is very tacky and does dry completely clear. You will also need some pop dots. I just have some pop dots that came out of my drawer. I have Tim Holtz detail scissors. They're my favorite, but you do need detail scissors. And for my trimmer, I have a Fiskars SureCut trimmer. This is our favorite trimmer that we brag about all the time because it has this wire that runs through the middle, so you can see exactly where on the paper you're going to cut before you cut. The first card we're completing is this card right here. I call it the greetings card. It is a vertical card. You will need one white card base, so you can remove the envelope and set that aside and make sure the opening is to the right, and one of our pink background pieces. So we're going to adhere this to the front of the blank card front, just so it has a pink background instead of a white background. So I'm just adding my liquid glue enough that I know that it will adhere to my card front. Okay. And I'll probably lay it flat first, just so I can see where the edge is. And hold. Perfect. All right, our next step from our Stamperia paper pack, we're going to open up this whole pack. We are looking for the paper that says greetings, showing a winter scene and a bridge. There it is. So you'll see this piece. I'll pull it out first. There is our background. See, it says greetings at the bottom and has that bridge and a fantastic winter scene. So I can close this up. I like how it opens like a book. That's very convenient. All right, we're gonna pop dot this piece centered to the front of our card. Okay. And perfect. Okay, back to our paper pack. We're going to go to the last page, and we're going to use our detail scissors to remove this bottom right circle, okay? So I think I'm going to leave the page in and just cut away from it. So I'm gonna square it out and then I'll go back and fix my circle. So I could set this aside and just fussy cut around the circle. Now fussy cut, if you don't know, just means that I am lightly cutting around this edge with scissors. So I know some people may not like this hand cutting, but you're much better at it than you think. And it's small enough that nothing crazy can happen. All right, that piece is trash. And we're going to pop dot this piece at the bottom right of this winter scene. So you see on this piece, there's a little green door and we already have a gate. And we already have our green gate here. So we're gonna cover up that green gate with our piece that has our new green gate. So I'm gonna put pop dots on the back of this. And put it right where I can see this corner, I'm just going to make sure it kind of stays in the boundaries. Just like that. From our 49er Market Stargazers flowers, we're going to open this pack. I need to select 2 small flowers right here, so I'm just going to select this one on the right and this one in the middle. We do want the small ones, so I'm just pulling those away from the backer. And we're going to adhere these with liquid glue on top of the pink flowers that are printed on the paper. So a little liquid glue on the back, and it goes directly on top, covering up the pink flowers on the paper. I know this Pink Christmas is a pink theme, which is different than your usual Christmas colors, and I like that. But because we added that pink background, I don't want to overdo the amount of pink in this picture. So adding these white flowers really helps bring out that white in the snow and makes it a little more brighter. All right. Next, using the Liquid Pearls Rouge, which is your redder color, we're going to trace over the small red berries on the paper and the circle card. So this Liquid Pearls has a very fine tip on the end. All you have to do is squeeze and then it will start coming out smoothly, and you're just filling in and tracing the best you can. So on my finished sample, you'll see with my rouge, I just made little dots on top of the berries to fill them in. Because they're so small, you're just making a little speck. Super, super easy. So I can show you here. I'm going to place my Liquid Pearls right on my berry, and I'm going to squeeze, and looks good. I just made a little dot, so I'm going to finish doing that with the rest of these berries. If you're afraid of the Liquid Pearls going flat, you can go ahead and flatten out yourself just by tapping on the bubble and letting it pop, so you can use that Liquid Pearls for your next berry that's next door to it. Super easy. I'm gonna fill this one. And sometimes just the amount of paint that's on the tip is good enough just to fill in one of those tiny berries. So there's some berries right here on the circle. And I see that there's some more berries tucked underneath this flower. I'm just going to ignore them because you can't really, you'd have to be holding the card sideways to see those, so it's okay. All right, and as bad as you think you may have done, like down here, I feel like it looks like a crazy mess, but the magic with the Liquid Pearls is it's going to turn pearly as it dries, and you'll get those perfect pearlescent spots that you're aiming for. So do not worry, it's going to dry perfect just how we want it. All right, so we're going to put our lid back on this one, and we're going to move to the Liquid Pearls Sage. But the sage you're going to use to trace the leaves on the paper. So that would be, instead of filling in, I'm just outlining these leaves down here in the corner to the extent I want. And if I want to go up to those, which I didn't on my sample, it's totally optional. So I'm just going to start with down here. I am just going to lightly squeeze and trace the outside of these larger leaves. And I'm going to leave those upper leaves alone. If you want to go for that, do it. Be my guest. All right, so this card has to dry and then it is done. That was the easiest card I've ever put together. Just be careful not to let anything go on top of it. All right, card 2. you're going to repeat that first step. So find a blank card front and one of your pink pieces, and you're going to adhere it. And I should have mentioned this before, but I do like the textured side to be facing up so the smooth side can adhere nicely to the smooth card front. That way there's a little texture to your background. So again, just the liquid adhesive. Now, I don't know if you noticed this, but this is totally a beginner class. So even if you're expert, even if it's your first time, either way, this is a super easy class, and you still get to learn how to make these easy cards with the Stamperia scrapbooking card paper kits. Okay, from the Stamperia paper pack, we're going to remove the first page. So you're gonna flip it open, and this first page has two big flowers and says "for you." Let's bring that one out. All right. And this is where we use our lace. So I'm gonna open up my lace packet. And what we're gonna do here is I'm going to put the lace, or we're both going to put the lace so that it's peeking just enough from behind this paper piece, and then it can be adhered to that card front. So we're letting a little lace come out and overlay with our pink background just to give it some more texture and a little more white and fun added to that card. So to do this, this is the front. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm just going to measure, cut, and glue. So measure. I'm going to make sure this is squared off first. Perfect. So just start on one side and work your way around, and it's up to you how much of the lace you want to be showing. And I just go about halfway up with the lace. So I can go ahead and glue this down. And because I'm gluing on the back side of this paper, which is not going to be shown, I don't have to use special adhesive that's used for lace. I'm just going to use the same dry as clear glue that I've been using, just because it's strong. Okay, turn it and keep working all four sides. This is a super easy way to get more embellishment to your cards. Now you can see here, I like to square off my ends every time to make sure they're perfectly straight, or as straight as my eye can see. All right, and what I'm gonna do here, instead of starting right at the bottom of that lace where it stopped, I'm gonna overlap that corner a little bit, just so it looks like it's one large piece instead of four separate pieces. And normally my OCD self would be saying, oh, I have to measure with the ruler first and then measure my piece and cut and make sure it's perfect. I'm not really going in depth with that right now. Because it's a smaller area that I'm working with. And if you mess up, you just pull the lace up and start again. That's super easy. Okay. Again, I'm going past that corner just enough so it overlaps my last piece. All right, and my last side. Now, because it's my last piece, I want to make sure I'm overlapping on the left and the right. Okay, let's see what our piece looks like. Awesome, this is so pretty. I'm really liking how we tied it. Now I'm gonna put it back down to dry so my lace doesn't fall off while I'm talking. All right, now I want to add some pop dots to the middle here because we're gonna pop dot it to our background just to give it even more dimension. You're gonna love it. Now I do like to put extra pop dots in the middle because when I add stuff on top of it and layer some more, I don't want my card to be sinking in the middle. So we got to make it look good. So we're going to adhere it to this card front. So we have a beautiful card here, and I like all the lace that I did. So some people might not like that much lace showing compared to the sample. I just had a little bit of lace showing, but you still get that pink seeping through the lace. So it's just a bonus color that's hiding back there like, ooh, what's going on? A little mysterious there. So that's super cool. And we're just making sure that it's facing the correct way. If we accidentally put it on upside down or such, there's still, the pop dots are still fresh enough to pull it up and turn it around. So it's making sure we put it down the same side. And we have lots of extra lace, or depends on how much you cut, but I have lots of extra lace. So if I messed up one or two of my sides, there's plenty here to start over or to use this for another project. So that's super awesome. All right, back to our paper pad. I'm going to go to the second to last page, and I want the top right tag. That's this green one up here in the corner. So I'm just going to cut it away from the page first. All right, and then I'm going to trim it or fussy cut it with my detail scissors, just so it looks more like a tag instead of my funky square I got. All right, we're going to pop dot this piece. So I need some pop dots on it. This cute tag. And if you are advanced, you could even take a hole puncher, a tiny, tiny hole puncher, or a poker and make a little hole there. And then add some twine there, so it's more like a tag with that twine, but no big deal. We're going to adhere this so that it is above our bird, slanted, and covering that For You title. Just like that. Very nice. Then from the flowers, the Stargazer's flowers, I need to select 1 large and 2 small flowers with pointed edges. So here is 1 large up here in the corner, and I see 2 smaller ones right by it. So I'm just going to pick those up. Okay. And then I'm also going to remove the greenery that's attached to this flower, and I can save it for later, use it on a different project, but I just don't want greenery in this card overloading with the other greenery that is already printed on the paper. So just saving that greenery for later. I'm just snipping it away. Beautiful. Now I'm going to adhere my large flower with liquid glue to the middle of my card. Whoop, we need the lid off. So it is covering this flower, and it's probably breaking your heart, but I promise this is so worth it. Okay, I've got that one in the middle of my card. And then the other 2, I'm going to glue right above it and kind of letting them overlap a little bit just to give it a little more dimension, like this was a bundle of flowers already. Very nice. Now you can see I put my 2 directly above them, just like the sample. It's okay if it's off a little bit. I do see that I'm off a little bit, but it's okay. Now with my Liquid Pearls Rouge, you know what to do. We're gonna do the berries on the paper. And we're also going to do these flower buds right here that are on the branch. I'll show you a little bit closer. So we have some berries down here, these flower buds, just a couple, and also our bow. That is a really pretty bow up there, and we're gonna make it stand out even more with the liquid pearls. Look at that, that's so pretty. So I'm just making almost little dots with my rouge, because as it flattens, it's going to fill out that circle perfectly, or whatever technique you found works better for you. But it's almost like making a little Hershey's kiss, and then you're just spushing it. Okay, and then my rosebuds. Those are good. And then my bow up here. So the best way here is to keep a steady hand on our bow so it looks similar to this. Now I know that looks kind of wonky, but when you get in this card, you've got a very pretty bow that's standing out with your other pieces that you've embellished. And I see here, I have also on my demo piece done some of the berries up here in the greenery that are by this flower, and some more rosebuds over here on the left and on this tag. So it's go to town or do bare minimum. Either works, you're still getting this to pop. So I'm gonna do this bow. I'm just tracing and squeezing very lightly. That was like my best work. So that was actually pretty easy. And it looks very good. I think I'll go back and while I'm here, just get these berries up here real quick. Just because I love the polished metallic look we're getting with this card. And then I'll just put this on the tag just a little bit. You can get a little bit carried away with these liquid pearls. They're so easy to use. And that card is done. Another super easy card with the Stamperia paper and our rouge color there. So we're going to set that aside to dry. All right, next card is our third card. We're going to be making this candle card. Very lovely. You're going to, again, adhere a pink piece to a card front. So here's a card front and a pink piece. Textured side up is the best way to go. Okay, from the Stamperia paper pack again, we're going to open this up. We're going to find the page that has the candle and the Christmas banner. So here it is. See the candle with that fabulous Christmas banner and all that fun stuff going on at the bottom. We're going to pull that piece out. Super easy. And we're going to pop dot this to the center of our card front. So we're not adding any lace, we're not adding anything special. We're just going to pop dot it to give it some really good dimension here. And don't forget the middle of the back so our card doesn't sink. Now, I used to work with smaller pop dots, and it would take me forever to get these little suckers off the pop dots, these little plastic pieces. Then I switched to these larger pop dots that I found. Oh man, it changes your world. Okay, so we're gonna center this to the front. Beautimus. So from our stargazers, we don't need these, those are for later. We need one small rounded flower and one small pointed flower, and we're gonna keep the greenery this time. All right, now, see this long stem that came with this flower? Let's make that a little shorter. But you don't want to cut too short. When you start cutting closer to this neck right here, then your leaves and spring will kind of fall apart. So we're going to cut just past where you see the end of that white petal and snip. And that went flying somewhere, I don't know. Okay, and also your springs here. Do you see these springy things right here? For some of you, the springs may be too long, a little too crazy. Mine were a little short, so you can see I just pulled them out a little bit so they weren't peeking, or you can tuck them in, super easy. And we're going to adhere these pieces at the bottom of the candle. So I'm going to start with my piece that has the greenery. I'm going to get some, instead of getting some glue, I'm going to use just a pop dot, because I find that putting larger pieces down that are crazy is easier with just a pop dot. And I'm going to make my leaf point to this corner and the larger part of the flower just to sit in this right side area of the assortment. All right. So that was some crazy explaining, but it really means put flower here. But my leaf is pointing towards my corner, and that my flower is on the right side of this bottom assortment. And then I'm going to glue this tiny flower with liquid adhesive and place it directly on top of that rose at the bottom. Perfect. All right, with our Rouge liquid pearls, we're going to trace the berries, the drips on the candle, and the C in Christmas. So let me show you the sample. Here are the berries down here, and by trace, I just made little bubbles. You can see them. And there's some bubbles right there, berries right there. There are drips, I'll show you here. These drips coming down the candle. I like to emphasize that. I think that's such a cool feature to bring out, that it's actually a lit candle. So I just made or traced over some of these drips on there. And then just for fun, because that C in Christmas is red, I'm going to cover it with that liquid pearl. So on this one, I just made a C just right over it, and it kind of blends in. If you think you are really good at this, you could even go as far as filling in that C. Now, I wasn't brave enough for that. I was brave enough to do that bow earlier, but not enough to fill in the C. So just like my sample, I'll just be making a C with my liquid pearls inside of that C as to make it pop. So I'm going to start with my berries down here, making my dots. And there's some berries over here. And then the drips on the candle. I'm kind of doing my own thing here too, going extra long. I just made a couple of extra ones. All right, and then I'm making a letter C. Now, because I was able to squeeze more out of my bottle, I got it to be thicker as I drew the C, so it filled up more of that printed C, if that makes sense. If not, they both look great. All right, now also with liquid pearls, we're going to use the sage. That's this fun green color. We're going to trace the remainder of the Christmas title, and we're going to outline the large leaves. So here's my sample. We're going to finish that Christmas, and then we're outlining the leaves over here just very lightly, and I outlined one leaf over here. So again, you're just as if you're writing with glitter glue is what it feels like. You're just carefully tracing over it. And I wouldn't try to overthink this part. Just let the bottle do most of the work here. And I'm doing this leaf on the right. I did 2 leaves on the left. Now you might see within my S, I got a little crazy there, and I see a little part where I messed up. And that's no problem because it's still wet. And this is pretty translucent for liquid color. So I'm going to take a Q-tip and I'm just going to wipe that up real quick. So if you do have a little mistake, just take a little Q-tip or a little pick and just pull it up off the paper and it will come up before it dries. Super easy. Okay, and with my lemon chiffon, our fun yellow color, we're going to trace and fill in the candle flame. And it's going to look just like that. So don't worry about the glow around the candle flame, just the single candle flame. Super easy. And that really makes that candle pop along with the rest of our words. It looks so pretty. So that card is done and ready to set aside to dry, and that's so awesome. And card 4. Here is our 4th card. I made it last because it's a little more detailed, I feel. So our last pink cardstock goes on our last card front. Textured side up texture side up when it's glued down. Whoops. Very nice. Okay, from the Stamperia paper pad, we're going to move the card with 2 deer. Oh. Ah, there it is. So there's 2 deer on this paper, but we want the back side. That was just a reference of finding this page. Okay. We're going to flip it over and adhere to the center of the pink cardstock so that these small berries are facing up. We're going to adhere this flat this time. All right, now we're going back to the paper pack and we're looking for the page that's half music and half green with the For You card. There's a lot of paper in here. Oh, there it is. So it's this pink piece. There's music over here. And then there's a green background that looks like one we used earlier on that side. So we're going to pull that page out. Okay. We're going to cut it in half with our trimmer. And the only way, I mean, not the only way, but the best way to do this is to eyeball how much pink is showing over here to know how much pink should be showing over here to have it nicely cut in half. And it doesn't have to be crazy precise. All right, so we're going to use this music piece. So we're going to set that piece aside. And we're going to pop dot this piece to the middle of the card. Now, it doesn't entirely matter which direction this is going because I see the music notes being stamped both ways, but I feel like I'm going to do it this way for no apparent reason. So we're going to pop dot this And don't forget the center. Right there in the middle, perfect. Okay, going back to the paper pack, we're going to the second to last page that has the tags, and we want that bottom left tag that has the deer on it. So I'm just going to cut it away from the paper. And then fussy cut it. Perfect. And I'm going to put this right into the right side of my music piece. So it's going underneath. And it's just going to hang out yay much. I'm going to hold it and put some glue under it so it can stay in place. Because I don't want to pull it out any more than it is, or it would flow outside of my boundary and won't fit in the card envelope correctly. So just enough that it touches that outside edge is perfect, and it's tucked underneath. Then we're going to go back to our Pink Christmas, to the last page with the circles, and we want the middle left circle with this deer right here to come out. So cut it away. And then fussy cut. Now I did see there were some little acorns and some little flower petals that went outside my circle because it's fancy. If you are advanced, you can go around those acorns that were sticking out, but I'd rather stick with my plain circle. So I'm going to pop out this to the middle of my music sheet piece. Just like that. And it's okay that I got a little wonky over here. If you have a little wonky spot, we're going to fix that real quick. So from our flowers that we have left, we're going to pull off these last two flowers. Okay. And we're going to adhere these at the top left and bottom right corner of this music sheet piece. This is really giving us bigger and louder flowers than the ones that are printed on the music sheet. Now, if you had a wonky spot, this is where instead of gluing your flower right in the corner, you can go up just a little more so that this petal covered your wonky spot. Does that make sense? Just a little tip. Okay, and remember those greenery that we cut earlier, one of these? I want you to snip away 2 leaves. Okay, and we're adding it back to our bottom right flower. So to do this, I'm just putting some glue at the bottom of the back of this leaf, maybe a little more. And I'm just going to insert it or tuck underneath this flower that we just placed, just to and hold just to give it just to add some green, more green to this card. So lift, tuck, and hold. Lift, tuck, and hold. That's funny. Okay, so using our Liquid Pearls Sage, we're going to trace the vines on the pink music piece so that it looks like this. So we have some metallic leaf pieces, or vines is what I'd call them. So I'm just going to lightly trace and maybe add a little more for those leaves to fill them in. And I'm not doing anything crazy, just making a line for the branch and then making some little spots where the leaves are. So it looks more like a vine than a glob. Okay, and I did 3. Now optionally, you could, if you are fancy, draw or trace a 4th branch coming out of this corner right here. But I'm not feeling advanced today. Okay, with the rouge color, all right, we're going to trace the berries on the deer piece and then randomly place dots around the remainder of the card front. So the berries on the deer piece is going to look something like that. And there's a whole bunch, so we're just going to quickly go through these and making those little dots. And don't squeeze too much or you'll have very large dots. And that's all I feel like doing. Oh, there's a couple at the top. Okay. And then all of these flowers, or no, those are flower buds in this background page. I'm just going to randomly go around and select some to make that dot with. And then even on this sample, I made a couple dots randomly on my music sheet just to make it blend a little better. So it's totally crazy, just not crazy, but just totally random. You're just selecting some. Or this is where you might say, I think I'm done with the rouge. That's plenty enough for me. So you can do all of these or you can do a couple. And I might even grab a couple here on the tag and just add some to the corner of my paper here and down here because I'm feeling creative with that one. All right, and that was super easy. That really vamped up our card here. That's so pretty, don't you think? So for putting these cards together and decorating them, they are done. What's left for you to do to your liking is use your Art Glitter Dries Clear Glue or your favorite liquid adhesive to go back with your distressed glitter, okay? And I've given, because this is totally optional, so that's actually a free bag of glitter, I've given specific places where you can apply that glitter to your cards. But that's something you want to do after they're dried, okay? So I might want to highlight or show you where these are in the card that's finished. So for my card 1, you might be able to catch my glitter that is up here in the snow and on the snow on my circle. Lovely. Don't want to set that on top of something. On my card 2, I added some more glitter to the petals of my flowers. For my card 3, I've added glitter. I've actually took my glue because it dries clear and I traced that green border and added the glitter, if you can see it. And I went back on my flowers a little bit. And on card 4, I went back on my flowers again, and you may even want to add some glitter to your tag. So it's free range glitter, absolutely. And if you weren't able to keep up or you want to watch again, this video does stay posted on the Facebook page. So thank you for watching.